Hey, it's time for episode 223 of the 3 Point Podcast, or today, the 3 Point Tooncast. We're brought to you by Memorial Healthcare, home of the state-of-the-art now Community Wellness Center with pool workout equipment, track, and a whole lot more. We also have a great midsummer podcast for you because it doesn't get any better than this, boy. Sitting on beautiful, luxurious Lake Manitou on the pontoon, and much to Jared's delight, it's running
Yeah.
good.
I mean, it's a little slow. That's usually always my number one complaint with pontoons, but I don't know where you guys stand. I've always been viewed it basically, if you don't have a sweet speedboat and you're not on, out in the ocean, I think pontoon's the way to go.
Yeah.
Well, pontoons too. Like, I know you guys like to get together, have family, friends, and stuff. Grandkids now. Pontoons are so much easier, like to park, maybe have some food, drinks, jumping off, and stuff like that. You can move around. So no, man. I was telling you guys, I know we're about to. You got to mention our partners.
Oh, of course, yes.
I haven't been on Manitou in a while. This is, if you live in Owasso, this is the spot to be.
Yeah, and
you guys know how much I like beaches and water and stuff like that.
Well, I got to tell you, Matt, I mean, I know you said it's been a long time since you've been out here, and we moved out into this area in 2006, and we moved from that house to where we're currently right on the lake in 2014. But the houses that have come on the market, and it's been a wild market, as we all know, a lot of younger families have moved in, have upgraded their houses, much needed upgrades, and it's really, the houses out here are really looking good. And, just to paint the picture for our listeners as well, I mean, we're anchored right to the island that's in the middle of the lake. So
had some baby ducks walking by earlier.
Might be a little breezy, but it's not a bad setup.
You've kind of made Lake Manitou almost part of your, when I think of you, it's like Lake Manitou is almost a part of you. You really love this place.
It's funny you say that because I don't know if I'm going to get cremated someday.
Yeah, that explains it.
But if I don't get cremated, I'm going to have the beautician that trims my hair, save a few strands of hair, going to be sprinkled right on this lake here.
Not at Nick and East Field.
Well, there could be some there too. There's been some food for thought.
That's a thing, you shredding hair?
Well, I don't know either. I kind of thought I'd come up with it, but
if they didn't, if people don't want to be cremated,
right?
I've heard the alternative is trim some hair, throw it to wherever you want to.
And this is a great spot, wouldn't you agree? This is awesome.
Yeah,
until that hair washes up on someone's shore and they're like,
in the middle of a bass belly.
The one thing that does always crack me up about pontoon owners and drivers or whatever you want to call it is when they start pulling the tubes on the back. Like, who are you fooling? This thing's going 20 miles an hour. You're not really tipping anybody off that thing anytime.
I think you're selling pontoons a little short. There's some pontoons that can really move,
especially the tri-toons.
Right. Do you know what a tri-toon is?
No, what is it? 3 motors or something? Or
there's 2 pontoons on Ted's. The thing underneath. Tri-toon has a third one running down the middle.
Oh, okay.
So you can really, control it more. And really,
to be honest, I didn't even know that was where the name even came from. I didn't know that was I don't even air cylinders. What is it air cylinders? Basically, is what a pontoon is on the bottom of this.
Basically, I mean, it's
basically
metal.
It's hollow.
Yeah. Oh, there's no. Okay. I guess
and just to further clarify, I'm not a rich guy. This is a 2000 pontoon, but it gets the job done.
Boats are the same as cars. I mean, if you take care of them, it's gonna last.
Yeah.
Now, you've had to put plenty of work into.
Well, I've had a little issue with it. Yeah,
we know that,
but it's running good now. And anyhow, speaking of good, we got to talk about our good sponsors that also help us out. Crow Real Estate and Auction. You like that segue? Nelson House Funeral Homes, Rivals Tap House and Grill, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, the Wash of Owasso, and the ALS Association of Michigan. And by the way, I think I told you guys our original sponsors. Their contracts were up at the end of June. They've all re-upped. So we must be doing something right.
And we were talking about it just a few minutes ago. We've been doing this since late 2018. And I know we've talked about it on the pod before, but I think we were all excited to do this podcast. This will be fun. Did any of us think we'd be 223 episodes in, 4.5 years later, sitting on Ted's pontoon with 6 really great partners and all that? I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Regardless of what you will say about the actual content of our pod, the fact that we've done 223 of them and miss a week here, miss a week there, but really pretty standard doing them every single week. I mean, it's a testament, man.
Yeah, and we haven't really been after each other's throats. I know you used to annoy me a lot more, but I've gotten used to you now on our weekly conversations.
It's helped the Uncle Ted Jared relationship, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
I've actually had some friends, and one of my sisters even said, I was telling her we were coming to do this, and she was like, Ted and Jared are hilarious. They really rip on each other a lot. I was like, I think they've always probably had that kind of uncle nephew relationship.
Somewhat. We started first working
at the radio station.
Yeah, when I was just kind of that was sort of the start of it.
Yeah,
always had a decent, good relationship, I guess, but not quite to this extent.
Right.
Well, we become friends. I mean,
Right.
when you boil it right down to it, we all have our
when he gets older, it's easier to be friends. When he's
Yeah.
a little
snot-nosed kid,
kid,
I'm throwing off
6-year-old or
the
whatever.
speedboat.
right, the pontoon.
Yeah, that's
Well, I had a speedboat
Oh, you
before
did?
the pontoon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's some of his memories, I'm sure, and his brothers and some of the other nephews. I used to have an 18-foot Sea Ray, and man, we'd go out here,
On
take-
Manitou?
on Manitou, yeah.
How you describe that was as if it was like Chris Craft or something. It's 18
There's nothing wrong with the Sea Ray.
Hey, no, man, you could really pull some people.
It's over there.
Oh, he sold it to someone else?
Sold it to that guy right over there. Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm just gonna tell, if you're listening to this pod and you're expecting A+ quality,
Yeah.
you might as well shut it off now.
We've got a nice breeze going on.
Exactly. We got a couple
Hurricane
Bud
winds
Lights and Liney Kugels. How do you say that? Summer Shandy. Yeah.
We're huddled around one phone, so no, we were just excited to do this because I only get back into town every once in a while, so it's cool to get together. I think the last time we did one was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
First year.
In the studio.
I thought it was the Corona Hall of Fame. No, were you were there for the Corona Hall of Fame one, right?
I wasn't there for that. We've done a couple since then, just when I've been in town.
Yeah.
But it's always cool to get back into town because get to go to Little Caesars. Get some orange and white cheese.
I did see that. What's your official review?
I've always been an orange cheese guy.
Yeah.
I like white. Orange cheese. So we got Little Caesars last night at my mother-in-law's, and I was pretty pumped. I was
When
like,
in Rome.
we got to get the cheese. Well, there's always those things you got to knock off. We were tossing around. You got to get Main Street or Little Caesars.
Yep.
And I told some of my sisters-in-law about the cheese, and they had never had the cheese. So I was like, oh, we got to get Little Caesars then. We're in Corona. So I was like, okay, we got to do the test. Get both. You got to try them both.
It was funny how
Should
you
do the
did
blindfold.
it. The picture you took was a small little order of crazy bread, and then there was like 5 cheeses around it. Was that all for that one?
No,
Was that all
there's
for that
plenty
one?
more.
Oh, okay.
I did think
it's got
about
plenty
that.
when I looked at it.
But I was going to mention to Ted, so I tweeted that out.
Right.
And the official Little Caesars Twitter account replied to my tweet.
Oh.
And I was going to say,
Oh,
Ted, we've got a little bit of an in now.
No,
tomorrow.
I think it's almost made. Well, you might have just doomed the Corona Little Caesars. I remember Jets used to jump onto this cheese trend because it's like Main Street does it now.
Yeah.
All the pizza places around us do it because it's just a thing around here. But I went to Jets. I remember they used to always have it, and it was the best to get their breadsticks with the cheese. And then I remember they didn't have it one day, and they said, "Oh no, the corporate person they sent a little rat around to test all the places.
What?
Saw they were selling that cheese. It's not corporate standard.
Oh, it's a local thing.
Yeah, so they shut it down. So for all you know, you may have just doomed us all.
Oh no.
Well, hopefully not. I was gonna say either a corporate sponsor or maybe just the local.
Sure. I think the
the
locals even
Castle-
have to go through the corporate.
Right.
I think they do a co-op usually.
I would assume so. The Castle's big with Main Street, right?
Right.
So you don't want to cross streams there. and try and dip
Main
into
Street, or they're also tied up with Jets, so I don't see any issue at all with Little Caesars. I'm all about it.
I've been sharing over and over the original.
That
again,
clip,
going
man,
back,
it goes by our version of viral every time you
our version of viral. Anytime I see something about Little Caesars, I go
I
back
know
and
you're
grab
always
that
on it.
and share that. It's up to over 5,000 views now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think everyone kind of vibes with that thing. It is a great pizza place. That cheese is what really puts it over top. It's to the point where my girlfriend will be like, we'll be wanting to get Little Caesars in Ypsilanti or in Sterling Heights now. She won't do it because they don't have the cheese. It's what makes it good.
I got to ask one question. I mean, you do the cheese and the breadsticks, but what about the pizza itself? Because I've been intrigued about this new thin crust they've been advertising.
I've never done the thin crust.
No?
I did the deep dish one time.
Deep dish.
The deep dish. I honestly, maybe it's a bias thing because, Little Caesars, Detroit, Michigan, all that kind of stuff, the Tigers, Red Wings.
It's awesome.
I think Little Caesars is good.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to put it on a scale of it's a $5 pizza,
Right.
Maybe that's part of it.
But
I think Little Caesars is pretty good for a $5 pizza.
No, it's no the best value.
I'm gonna say
Any-
it's great if I'm gonna
item.
reach out to them. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, no. It's the best pizza I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And I would put it up there with anything in New York or wherever. But No, like the people who bag on it, like, oh, it's shitty, $5 tastes like cardboard. It's like,
What do you want?
first of all, you are spending $5 on a pizza, so
Right.
think about that. But I think it has a good flavor and everything.
And
It
the
does.
running joke is what goes into these ingredients where they somehow keep this pizza under $5. I mean, it's been $5 ever since. It's like $5.55 I think now, but
Right.
ever since a little kid, it's been $5.
Yeah.
Even with all this inflation, Ted, you're tweeting about inflation every other day. The Little Caesars pizza is unaffected by it, so it makes you wonder what type of profit they were making on these bad boys.
I mean, they must be
Way
volume sales, baby. That's where it's at.
They must be doing something too, because they're the official pizza of the NFL now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that was a big move.
They spent some big bucks.
official pizza of the NFL. 3 Point Podcast.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, it's basically the same.
Drop in the bucket, right?
It really.
They should be able to float us a couple $1,000.
That's literally a drop in a Minnesota huge NFL bucket.
No
It would
doubt.
Be, the big
Maybe we
sponsor
could
to
get
us.
some NFL swag or something like
Where,
that out of it.
where do you guys stand on 4th of July? Matt, you're a big 4th of July guy. We know that.
Yeah.
Ted, I think you are as well.
Well,
I might be the odd guy out. This year, like every other year, I find myself, it's like, it puts you in a weird depression. Because it's like I do every 4th of July, I do the same thing, which is nothing. But everybody else is doing all this awesome stuff. So it's like kind of like taking a regular day, but adding like an added ounce of like missing out on stuff, like feeling left out, depression.
Yeah, if you hop on
And
Instagram, it's all beach
yeah.
pictures,
Oh,
and
yeah.
cookouts.
Snapchat, everybody's going crazy. It makes it one of the worst days of the year for me.
I can
Really?
see that.
I don't mind the fireworks. I've gone to Higgins Lake a couple times, done the whole South Higgins camp or whatever, that whole big party. Has done that a few times. That's a blast, but never had the cabin growing up, never had the weekend getaway, never had Lake Manitou to sit out and watch fireworks from. So it's always just been a little bit overrated.
Yeah, full disclosure for me, I love it. I mean, you can't beat Thanksgiving, you can't beat Christmas, but if I have to put a holiday at number one, the reason I go with the 4th of July, I love the whole patriotic theme to it.
Even though sometimes it's hard to be patriotic.
We
don't need to get
no.
We don't need to get
But my red, white, and blue boat here. But it's a great day for a day off. It's the middle of summer, okay. And I have another selfish reason because it's 1 week away from my birthday, so it's always 4th of July. Exactly 1 week later is my birthday, and then being a young kid, it was always All-Star week too, in baseball.
Yeah.
And the baseball All-Star game was a huge deal when I was young. I don't even know if they've named the teams yet, have they?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think
it's a little later now, right?
It's the 14th through the 17th.
Okay.
I believe is All-Star break.
mid-July now.
Cabrera's got to be the Tiger, doesn't he?
Maybe. I mean, the rule. There has to be one player
to be
for
one.
every team. So who would it be? Scooble, maybe.
Nah.
It's not going
fallen
to be
off a
biased.
little
Yeah,
bit.
Scooble's falling off.
It
not gonna
seems
be
to
biased.
it seems to be really be a
Could be
two-man
Fulmer.
race. It's Lang or Fulmer, one of the bullpen guys, or
Oh,
Miguel.
yeah,
The way
Lang,
I don't fault the NBA for the stars in the All-Star games. I've
Right.
always liked it. Kobe was always in the All-Star game up
Even
until
when he was past his prime and stuff.
I think it's what makes it awesome. I'd rather see Miguel Cabrera in that game than some known, and this could apply to any other team in the MLB, than some guy who had a good year but nobody knows who he is.
Well, he's not hitting 220 either. He's hitting 300, and he got his
Actually having a good
3,000th hit.
He's having a good
He's
season.
having an all-star type of year. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my vote. I
Yeah.
vote for Miguel. Who do
Yeah.
you vote, Mr. Bally Sports?
Yeah, Miguel, 100%.
gotta be.
It has to be.
Especially because there's no one else really.
No,
If Riley Green was eligible, maybe
Yeah.
he would be the guy. But
Now
he's
again,
not
who
eligible.
cares, right?
Yeah.
We're sitting here on the pontoon. Beautiful weather you brought in. This is awesome.
No, yeah.
This is great.
Going back to 4th of July, yes, it's my favorite.
I'm gonna get a beer, by the
Yep,
way.
I'll take another one too.
All right.
Christmas, like you said, Ted. Christmas, Thanksgiving, all those other. I like New Year's too. I've always thought New Year's Eve is fun, or New
Oh,
Year's
yeah.
Day. 4th of July, for everything Ted said. The midsummer, you guys know I love the beach. I could live on the beach. Coming here is making me be like, convince my
maybe a
wife,
little bit
let's go, let's move back to Owasso and buy Ted's house when he retires down to Florida. or
Might not
whatever
be
he's
that
doing.
long.
I thought you recently decided you were not going to do that.
I did.
So what was the decision that made you? I mean, that was your plan for the last 20 years. I feel like.
I think part of it is there's still have the family factor. That's
Yeah.
always been a big thing with me, And I mean, we've talked about it before. When I was younger, I had opportunities to possibly move elsewhere, but I wanted to stay close to family, especially when my daughter was young. But now that I got grandkids up in the area that I can still see, and going to Florida for 3 months, it just doesn't appeal to me. And the other thing, my wife and I both, we don't hate winter. It's
Right.
not the worst season of the year.
All right.
Some of it,
It is the worst,
but we'll go somewhere for a month or 6 weeks and go somewhere different every year. We
Right.
might go to Europe. We might go to Hawaii. Those are all on our future plans.
Even just simply to Arizona or something.
Or Arizona, go
You know,
visit Josh,
Florida.
have him put us up. You
Right.
know,
You're gonna be living you're gonna be sitting in a,
In a cement block.
250 square foot studio apartment when he puts you up in it.
Sleeping on a twin futon
Yeah,
or whatever.
A wrestling mat on the ground.
No,
I've
so you've
seen
got
them there.
options. But
Right.
no, 4th of July, like the fireworks, like you said earlier, they are what they are.
Yeah.
Like fireworks,
Well, it
that's just the
depends.
tradition part. There are some good ones. I was
Right.
up in Ludington, so we went
saw
up
your
to
view.
Ludington.
It
And
looked great.
They shoot them off right over the beach, right over Lake Michigan. So that is really cool. This year it rained a little bit. They were able to do the show. So it was a little cool and, a little rainy. So that kind of changed it. But, oh, man, it's just there is the patriotic part of it. And if the weather's nice, you're out. We go for bike rides and you're to the beach and the food. That was going to be another thing. I 100% put the 4th of July meal up above Thanksgiving, Christmas, everything, because I want potato salad, taco salad. I want grilled hot dogs, burgers. If whatever fruit is out, watermelon or cantaloupe, or whatever fruit pizza, all that stuff. I would eat that every week. I would eat a 4th of July, but a Thanksgiving meal, I'm not.
You're not a big turkey. You guys don't like turkey.
No, I've always said
like
that.
once or twice a year.
Yeah.
I'm good, and
it is the best meal of the year.
Yep.
I agree with that.
I got Jared to agree with me.
That's hard to believe.
One thing that I gotta throw this out there. I think my favorite, and this might be a good episode to do this, maybe 250 as well. My favorite guest, it's a recent one. He had a big weekend this weekend. Jesse Goldberg Strassler.
Yeah,
I love this.
What'd he
I
do?
love that guy. So
You're like his biggest fan now.
I did love him.
He's pushing me to go do a broadcast over
There's
there.
something
Maybe
about
you could
him.
join me.
To take him along.
Yeah.
He had some thing you can't quantify, some electricity to him. I couldn't quite explain it. I was hanging on his every word during those.
Oh, you listened to a broadcast? A lug nuts, or what?
No,
do you do?
during our interview with him.
Oh,
also,
okay, gotcha.
it's
Yeah,
broadcast.
Very eloquent, isn't he?
No,
Just a beam of sunshine is how I
Yes.
would describe him.
Smiling the
yeah,
whole time.
yeah.
Like I watched when I was like posting it. He threw out a line, something like, "How
Brought,
your voice comes across," and he said something like,
I'm smiling.
"Like I'm smiling." You can tell I'm smiling while I'm talking.
Yeah.
When he said that, you did. You lit up like a kid on Christmas.
That's just how I felt. But he had a
Yeah.
big. So the lug nuts, they have a sweet little setup where the city of Lansing has fireworks that go off right in the outfield during the game, and the lug nuts are brilliant, scheduling their game to be played while these fireworks are going off.
It's cool.
And they hit a walk-off home run.
Oh, really?
While the fireworks are
while
going off.
fireworks are going off.
Wow.
There's a sweet picture of I don't know who hit it. Him in the on-deck circle with fireworks going off behind it moments before he hit a walk-off home run. So
That's awesome.
that's
Yeah,
an all-time
cool.
4th of July thing. And I think more teams should do that. Why not play with the fireworks going?
Well, Tigers always set
But
up
it's
fireworks
post-
if they're
after,
home.
post-game.
Post-game.
But
You
why
think
not?
they should play games with fireworks going off?
I mean, the lug nuts did it.
That's triple.
Well, I mean,
Didn't they
was
send it? Did he hit the home run and then the fireworks went
No,
off?
they were going because it was not a part of the lug nuts.
Oh,
it was
I
the
got
city
you.
of Lansing.
It was the Riverwalk thing
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do. That's
so
right.
it was interesting. You could see them.
That's
in the
pretty
background.
So it'd be like if the city of Detroit did
That's
their
what I was thinking.
behind Ford Field or
Right.
something like that. So you could
It'd
see
be
him.
perfect.
Oh, that would be cool. That'd be cool. Would you like 4th of July then?
Now he's back
Be
on
better.
4th of
I mean,
July.
well, it's like It's like the thing that sucks about it's different, Matt. You're here on vacation all week. When
Yeah.
you got to work at freaking 8 a.m. the next morning, it's like, what am I? I'm just like sitting around. What am I gonna day drink just to
Right.
be hungover the next? I was in a horrible mind space on the 4th, and I feel like I always am.
That is an interesting thing. Like this is kind of a different topic, but along those lines, talking about moving back to Wausau or whatever, my wife and I do talk about that. We still, throw that out there, but we're like, usually when we come back, it's on vacation. If you move back permanently,
your
you're not
mindset's
on
different.
vacation.
Mhm.
the whole time.
Yes.
You're getting jobs. You're
Makes a
going to
difference.
school and
Exactly.
stuff. So like, yeah, this is great. I've just been day drinking for whatever. I mean, like whatever. But right. So 4th of July, if you got to work at night to cover Tigers or whatever, because I've had to work 4th of July too, when I have to go in at 4 p.m. or whatever, it is. You're hopping on social media or whatever, and it's like, this is terrible.
When you say you're actually considering moving back, like what would you say like percentage seriousness is with that?
It's
Like,
like 50-50.
so
we really love North Carolina, but it's the family and friends thing. And,
so what are
it's a
you
big
with your job? What would you're thinking you would like? I mean, there's Valley Sports
He'd
Detroit.
hope you have an
there's-
in for him.
Right.
I mean, if I
That'd
could
be
do,
obvious.
I
Yeah,
mean, a lot of stuff is being done from home or
Oh,
remotely.
I see what you mean.
So
yeah.
if I could stay with ESPN and work from Michigan,
Right.
That'd be ideal. Yeah, with all
But-
the time you got into Disney World too.
Right. Oh, that leaving the Disney tickets.
You've
was
been
like,
there recently.
we got a trip coming up. We actually might be going a couple more times. But but that's honestly like part of it. That all the benefits of the job.
Yeah.
It's tough to leave. My wife has a really good job too, so she'd be able to find a job easy because she's in the medical field. But it's all that. You got to weigh all that stuff.
You do.
and we do like North Carolina too. So
A hilarious conversation I had with my buddy the other day. He's an engineer. working hard, but lives down where I live. And he was talking about comparing it to a teacher. Basically, a teacher is richer in Corunna than he is making, whatever, $30K more.
And he's an engineer.
Detroit.
Because of the cost of living and everything.
It's like, it is kind of funny when you think of it that way. It's like, but maybe if you could still have your ESPN gig here, man, you're a king among this place. You're gonna be living on Lake Manitou.
I'd be buying that house, man. That house right there. Look at
the one with the lighthouse. That's an
Wow.
awesome
Dang,
house.
man.
That's definitely one of my favorite houses.
It kind of seems like a keeping up with the Joneses. It feels like every time I come here, there's a new house with a new upgrade, a new sunroom, a new.
So to me, to get back to lake living,
Yes,
I've talked before. There's a lake north of Charlotte, Lake Norman,
right.
that we go to fairly often, and like all the NASCAR guys have houses. Michael Jordan has houses on it. Christian McCaffrey has houses on it. It's like the lake people around Charlotte live on. It's pretty big. It's actually very large. One of my favorite things to do when we go up there is, and I'm sure you've lived here for a while now, and you can do it, is driving around just looking at the houses.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we'll drive around and just like tool around, basically, just be like, I mean, you're almost like drooling over some of these houses. Like, oh my God, what do you do to afford this?
Right.
Well, you got to be Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has like 3 houses on that lake or something. But no, some of the houses, I mean, but there's the other side. I tell my wife, like, maybe we just buy a lot and just put a double wide on there. They were still on the lake,
The big thing
over time, build it up,
right?
But
the big thing nowadays is the tiny houses. I mean, you have family, maybe that'd be harder to do. But
tougher.
I've saw them. I could if I lived in one of those suckers, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
They're sweet. They're always decked out. They're like old cargo containers.
All you're doing in the house is sleeping and eating.
Yeah,
you're right.
The rest of the time you're on the lake.
The little key, you've heard it before: location. But to go along with that is what I've found, and I got a halfway decent house, but you look at some of these mansions out here. My strategy's been, buy the least expensive house in the best neighborhood.
Right. Yeah.
And that's got Manitou Drive, I think, is the best street out here.
Hey,
here on the lake.
You're downselling your house. You have a very nice house, but you're right. Look we're still on a pontoon on the water. You don't have to have a house like that.
No, you don't.
To enjoy it all. Yes, that is cool.
Right.
I mean, you still get to enjoy all of it.
I said this off air, but I was serious when I said this, that when we were talking about you moved, when you had the nice house out, that was not on the water, but it was a very nice house. I mean, I would say in terms of the actual house, I'd still say it's probably still better than your current house.
Yeah, probably.
Or very comparable. But when you moved into your current house here on the water, it was midwinter. You came and showed it to all of us. It was like mid-construction. Like I said, it was like a piece of, what'd you say? You bought the cheapest house and, built it up.
In the better neighborhood,
right.
Yeah.
Right. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, this guy is an idiot. He's going from this sweet place to this piece of crap. And think about it, winter. It's nighttime, winter. You don't see the water. You don't know what type of view he's got. This or that.
On it,
I just remember
kitchen cabinets were tore off.
as a snot-nosed, high
school.
school. I was thinking this
2006.
2004.
This was 6 years old.
This was 2000. So that
14.
was 14 is when we moved this newest one. Okay. So I was like in high school, freshman in high school. It's funny to think that in my mind I was literally laughing to myself at the fact that you made this move, but it worked out. It is a great setup.
Now you're on his pontoon recording the podcast,
and our house is very, very comfortable with our back two-story, what do you call it? Double layer patio, overlooking the lake. So it's kind of nice. But I just want to jump in, guys. This is kind of a freelance 3-point Tooncast, if you will. Brought to you by our sponsors. We're going to freelance our ads here. I want to thank. I got to pay the bills, man.
While you're freelancing, I'm going to go.
Go
check this tree out over here.
Yeah.
But let's start with Crow Real Estate and Auction. I mean, Troy Crow and the gang over there. I mean, they do just a great job. And we got to say kudos out to his son. It's Nick, right?
Yep.
Nick Crow. He was named Argus Press Golfer of the Year. Averages 40.3, I think, 40.3 strokes all season long. Tremendous golfer.
Impressive. Because here's the thing. I played high school golf. I've been out there with the kids who think it's the freaking PGA Tour. This is a true story. And basically this island we're looking at, it's got the wood paneling around it. At Perry Golf Course, there's a hole that's just like this. And I remember sitting there for 5 minutes as a kid was doing a drop. You have to drop it from your knee, and wherever it rolls, you have to hit it. But the problem was it was up against this wood paneling that was right along the water. This kid was literally making him continue to drop it like 10 different times because it kept just rolling down the hill against the wood.
Right against the wood.
So think about those type of guys you're golfing with. Nick Crow, it's not your buddies out there golfing, screwing around, dropping mulligan balls. This guy's 100% legit 40.3 in high stakes golf rounds. And that's impressive. I mean, he's going to play college golf. He's going to freaking be either reduced or entirely free college. I mean, that's awesome.
Trine University down in northern Indiana, just down I-69. But, his dad has a great business going there with the real estate and auction. If you're looking for a great deal, check out Crow Real Estate and Auction. Just check them out on the web and tell them we sent you. Also, Nelson House Funeral Homes. I talked to Kevin Krager, the manager there and owner, and he said, yep, sign me up for another year, boys. And I'll tell you from personal experience, they're the really, I think, the top funeral home in our entire area, maybe in the entire state. They do it respectfully and they do it first class, and can't say enough about the good folks at Nelson House.
Yeah, it really, I mean, we had the one experience, sadly, but it, like I said, couldn't be treated any better when we were there.
Yeah, and think about that too, Jared. I mean, that was during COVID, right? In the heart of COVID. So they made it through that, and they take care of all their customers. One more shout out I want to say to Rivals Tap House and Grill. I mean, can't get any better than the food, the drinks, the service, everything over there at Rivals. They are the official pub of 3 Point Podcast, and they've been on board from the very beginning. We love their support as well. By the way, I got cards for both of you guys before you leave.
I was going to ask you about that. So
you got to cash in on that before you freaking head back.
Exactly.
I'm cashing in. So a little sidetrack to this. I think I got this from your cup holder here.
Oh.
I'm going to glue that guy back on.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, no, don't worry about that.
Pontoon is kind of falling
apart. With Rivals. So my mother-in-law, again, a little sidetrack here, but she knows that they have a really nice place in Corona, a ton of acreage, pond, huge yard. I mean, a super nice place. And she knows we have a lot of friends we want to see, family and stuff like that. So this coming up Saturday, she said, I'll have a party. She's gonna invite the family. She told my wife and I, invite whatever friends to come out, whatever. And she's gonna cook some stuff or whatever. And I told her, I was like, I have $200 in Rivals gift.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm gonna call. So if someone from Rivals list, I'm gonna call.
So you did bring your cards with you?
Brought my cards with me, and I was gonna ask if you had another one or two for me.
3.
I'm gonna call maybe tomorrow and just let them know, hey, Saturday morning I'm gonna call, and I just figure I'm gonna do every appetizer. Just give me every appetizer so we can just set them out.
Can't beat that.
So, little teaser for later, and maybe this is what we come out with out of this this commercial break. I went to Rivals this past Saturday for going to a movie, Top Gun Maverick, actually, review to come.
Oh, okay.
But we went there, and here's what I recommend. Got a 7-7 drink, guzzle it right down. It's delicious, man. It's a simple drink, but
7-7's your thing now. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
It was so good. So I get that, and then there's also they have ham roll-up pizza with pickles on it. Flatbread. It's like a flatbread.
With
and
pickles?
Very good. Pickles on it. I don't know if it was ham roll. I think it was
pickles instead of the onion.
Yes,
or whatever.
I believe
that's how
so.
I'm not an onion fan, so that's how I've always done it.
Like I said, I wasn't exactly in the best headspace.
After 7-7s.
7-7s.
But it was awesome. Out on the patio, I love Rivals patio, and there's something about Rivals. It's the place I wish I was there when I was in high school, when I was a kid. It came around right when I was kind of leaving the county, but I really wish it was there during my
It's a cool space. I mean, not just because they're awesome partners of ours. It really is. One thing I like about sports bars is space.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching games and you're kind of hanging out, bouncing from a table to another, you don't want to be doing the rubbing your ass on someone as you're walking by. You want space. There's pool tables. There's the patio.
Arcade games. Yep.
Arcade games. You want that. And they have a ton of TVs, obviously.
Well, the other thing I like is, it's Corona. I don't mind Owasso, and I used to hang out at Jumbo's in the middle of Owasso, but
Jumbo's again, it keeps coming up.
But that was an Owasso bar, if you know what I'm saying. And Rivals, they'll treat everybody good, but it's Corona.
I remember, and you probably do too. And sometimes when we would roll into Jumbo's, a group of Corona people, there would be a little bit
There'd be some tension. Yes.
Side eye. So
that was Applebee's. I remember clear as day, basketball season, senior year. We were walking out, Owasso kids walking in, just literally staring them down.
Stink eyes.
Right.
There's a corner at Applebee's. I should go in there.
That's Corona Owasso.
It's Corona Owasso.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it still is. My basketball team that went to the Final Four, our pitcher when we were at Breslin was there. They may have.
I don't
changed
think
it.
so.
They may have changed it.
I would remember that. I think it got switched out for all the crummy Corona Wasso teams of the early 2010s, late 2010s.
Yeah, when it first opened, obviously there was your dad's state championship team and some other ones, but then our 2003 at Breslin, I was like, I made Applebee's.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It's no rivals, but it's a great little.
By the way, when you're over tending to Mother Nature, did you take your phone with you? Are we coming through okay?
I did not. Phone
it's been
here.
I mean, you can hear it.
Okay, I just want to
was
make sure,
gonna say,
a
yes,
little different tune.
It's recording still. What are we up to? A half hour?
I always worry about that.
No camera, so no video for this one.
No,
I don't think you guys want to see our mugs right now.
No, but I'll tell you what. I mean, this is kind of fun doing a little freelance one. I'm glad you came into town, man, Jared. I mean, you're dedicated. You have work to do. You're putting together a special about the Red Wings. Tell us a little bit about that. This is the stuff that really interests me. You guys are in the real industry. I do what I do, but tell us about what you got coming up.
We talked to Lucas,
by the way, while he's talking.
All right, we'll do it.
Lucas Raymond, he's in Sweden right now. Actually, we talked to him at 11 a.m. this morning, 5 p.m. his time.
You want one of these golden ales?
So basically, just a little, get how's the off season going type thing.
Because who's Lucas Raymond?
He's that's what I
I didn't know
in my own little bubble, but
I know a little bit. But...
Basically, 23 goals, rookie year. Finished third in the Calder voting, which is rookie of the year, which Moritz Seider won. I mean, if I had to put my money on a team that's going to win a title for a Detroit sports team, it's going to be the Red Wings.
The whole question: who's the first Detroit team that's going to take? You think the Red Wings?
I think it's the Red Wings. They have they have the rookie of the year. The guy's literally widely regarded as maybe one of the best defensemen already as a rookie. Guy is a stud, in Moritz Seider, and then Lucas Raymond. Fun little pipsqueak,
right.
5'10", 170 pounds, but just knows how to put the puck in the net.
And the one thing about the Red Wings too, it's the Red Wings.
Yeah, they have
we
a
all
winning
love the
legacy.
Lions, but they're the Lions. The Red Wings are like the Red Sox of the MLB.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they're in they're in a downside, I guess, but people will come to play for the Red Wings when they start.
Exactly.
I'm impressed.
Like the Tigers.
I'm impressed that Jared's become a Red Wings fan.
Yeah,
he's kind of forced it to
We're
him,
turning
right?
them around on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Turning them around on the Red Wings.
Same with the Tigers. This is actually a funny got a little laugh in the truck. Somebody, hey, you watch baseball before you came here? You like baseball? I said, literally, I've watched more baseball this singular series than I did my entire life growing up.
Except for Justin Verlander's no.
Yeah, that's right.
Fish.
Yeah, you see it jump.
You got the fishing pole.
Oh, live fish jump.
We need to catch.
Well, it's almost fishing time. We're recording a little before 9 o'clock. It's good time to
fishing
fish.
Time.
Yeah.
Do you? What's the biggest fish?
I didn't
that
mean
comes
to
out of
sidetrack.
No, that was.
This whole thing's a sidetrack.
What is the biggest fish you've caught out here?
Amy actually caught the biggest fish ever. My daughter Amy. It was probably a 25 inch bass.
Dang.
It was the fattest thing ever. I didn't weigh it, but it was humongous. And the thing is, with these giant bass out here, when you throw your worm out, you don't even feel it because they just swallow it. Yeah. And we got that thing in the boat. It was huge. And that's what we mostly fish for out here is bass. I'm sure our listeners really care about that. But yeah, there's a lot of bass out
We
there.
got a lot of local listeners. Maybe some people on.
Oh, we do.
Maybe there's some people looking at us like, look at that 3 Point podcast out there.
No, let's say we did like a live stream of it. Also, we got a bunch of boats.
Yeah.
I thought about that. Like, if
I don't know if that would happen, but
when I mentioned the cell service, I was like, we could go to our 3 Point podcast and do a Facebook Live.
Oh yeah, I
and
never
record
thought
it that
about
way,
that.
but I didn't think about it enough.
Yeah.
Like, would it work? And
No.
this will do fine.
Yeah.
Well, this is like our
Facebook
pilot.
Live, that would have been cool.
This is like our pilot podcast. This is our first excursion
Right.
into a Tooncast,
like I
right?
said, it's weird doing it in person. We haven't been doing
I
it
know.
since we were in the studio for maybe 2020 was the last year. I've been gone last 2 years. I haven't been in the area, so we've been doing them all online. It's just a little bit. It's different. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's just because you're used to the webcam, your laptop in front of you,
Right.
pulling stuff up while you're recording. It's just different.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I've told my wife, like, this is another like check mark on like what would make me want to move back, because if we continue with this podcast,
Right,
which
exactly.
I think we all like it or whatever,
Yeah.
We love
it
it.
is more fun to do in person.
It is.
Like the StreamYard
Oh, yeah.
has helped to doing the video. That's made it
100%.
pretty cool.
Oh, that is something that is for. I think ever since I've been moved, we've been doing the video version. I
Yeah.
think.
Right.
But yeah, back in the day when you were on voice,
When I was on your
the
speakerphone,
phone, that must have been hell.
it was
honestly
the only thing, and I know I've told you guys this. The big, it was fine. Like really,
Right.
it was a little bit of a
a
delay
little delay.
because like you guys would be in studio, talking real time,
Yeah.
Right.
and I'd be on a little delay. So when I would go to edit, there would be so many times that I would start to chime in, and you guys would like still be talking or something.
That'd be
But
a
like,
nightmare.
but for me, I wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Like when we were recording. So
Uh-huh.
no, do it. So I've told her, I was like, if we move back, I'd be, we could maybe like really go in on this podcast and do a bunch of Tooncasts or do some remote podcasts at Rivals.
Absolutely.
Or go to the Nick for a Corona game if you're not working or
right.
we're not, whatever. Do a podcast at a Corona football game. There's like so many things we could do. But
here's a spot I'll jump in. This is my experience in radio. At 3 Point Pod, right? That's where people can hop on our social media sites, ask us questions, give us guest suggestions. They can participate that way. I know we have a few that respond quite a bit.
We have some loyal listeners, and we know Craig is one of them. Craig's gonna listen.
Carolyn, we'll say a shout out to Carolyn.
Speaking of Carolyn,
Dave.
I met her.
Oh, you did?
Oh, nice.
Went to Meyer last night. When you come to town, you got to go to Meyer.
Did she recognize you?
Really? Walked in the door. She's a greeter.
Yeah.
It's the LeBron James effect.
Yeah, I did. I was with my wife, obviously, and my sister-in-law, her sister. She lives in Tennessee, and we walked into Meyer, and right away, Carolyn, hey, it's Matt Burns, my Facebook friend. And it took me a second. It took me a second to recognize her, but I did kind of feel like, yeah, it is me.
Puff it up.
No, so Carolyn, it was nice to officially meet you.
And
Absolutely.
we have talked about this before. I feel like I get one of those like almost like every week. There's somebody that I know, and I'm surprised. I'm always surprised when they say they listen. That never wears off. It's just we listen to us three idiots, babble on. But
we've peaked like someone like the Tony and Niece one with your dad when you.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, that one.
I missed.
Over 20,000. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but it was definitely over 20,000. We've had, around 5, 7 seems to be like maybe the norm. We've obviously had some
of our videos have been huge.
Some of the videos. So like, we're not the number one podcast on, Spotify or whatever, but like, we have fun with it. We put out a good product. We feel
and I don't think I ever said this to you guys, but when I was we were working with State Champs or whatever, I had a guy from State Champs. My producer introduced me. He said my name. He said, "Oh, you're 3 Point Podcast." That was kind of
cool.
A wild little moment because it's like, and
I mean, it's one of those things too. Like even if we don't have the Joe Rogan type of following, we've been doing this for 4 years, so like
gotta have some sort of following.
Something out there.
Definitely.
I was going to mention the Meyer thing. Something that's funny about maybe you're around town all the time. Maybe you're starting to get a little bit when you come back. It's always funny when I come back to town and like go to Meyer, or if we do go into Little Caesars.
You
always bump into something.
Yeah. How do you feel about coming back here?
I like it. I think
you're not dodging the Meyer. You're not dodging the.
That's one thing. Like this would be a whole other tangent. I am not one of those. There's those people who like go back to their hometown and I don't want to bump into someone from high school. I'm the complete opposite. I want to see people from high school. I just think it's fun. I love high school reunions. I think that kind of stuff is cool. I'm proud to be from Corona, or whatever. But we bumped into Carolyn. One of our friends' dads was there, and we talked to him for like 20 minutes.
Yep.
Saw a couple other people, quick like, hey, type of thing. And it's just like, man, you run into Meyer, and it's just
you can't avoid it at Meyer. You cannot avoid it.
But I love it. I love it.
I think we'd be remiss. We got to mention at least one sports topic, and that is the elephant in the room: USC, UCLA joining the Big Ten. I mean, Ted, I feel like you got to have the floor on this. This is like college football's ending as you know it.
That's what I said.
It is.
Speaking of at 3 Point Pod or Twitter site, I did tweet out college sports as Ted knew it growing up is long gone with NIL and conference realignment and everything.
It's funny how people thought NIL was going to ruin it, but really it's this conference realignment that is potential. Depending on how you view it, it's not ruining it.
It's not going to ruin it at all. It's going to destroy the NCAA, which is a good thing.
That's the one. NCAA might be they're shitting their pants right now with the NIL.
They gotta be.
Right.
And you would think an old geezer like me would be totally against it, but hell no. I mean, it's changed. Times have changed. You got to move on. You got to go with the flow. Are we still
one thing I've always respected about Ted? He's, you've learned Twitter. You got on TikTok.
Yeah.
You're cool with conference realignment. You don't want all Michigan games on ABC. You're cool.
Right.
Right. You keep up with the time.
For an old geezer, like I said, check me in 5 years. Right. But UCLA, USC, that's awesome. The Big Ten has the whole country covered now, Now, I don't know if all the, like Rutgers, these schools are going to survive. Probably will, because it's still in the big New York, TV area. But the whole thing's going to be all just changed, right? We're going to be looking at what, 4 super conferences probably when it's all shaken
Right.
down.
You've already got Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC, which is
right.
another reason
That was
why
the first, that was the one start. That was, if that never happens, I don't think we're here. But
Probably
Probably
not.
not. That was the big domino because then the Big 12, losing those two, they've gained what, like Cincinnati, BYU. The Big 12 will still be solid, but it's not going to be the SEC.
No.
So the Big 10 looked at it and they were clearly like, dude, we got to do something to keep up with the SEC. UCLA, I honestly was like, I didn't think it was real.
Came out of nowhere.
UCLA,
Yeah,
USC to the Big 10. I was like, what? I was expecting maybe like an Oklahoma State or
Right.
maybe some of these more
Kansas.
Midwestern type teams, but UCLA and USC, I'm kind of with you. It's kind of like, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
I just want Michigan to win. I don't care
Yeah.
who you're playing. Just win is what it comes down to.
somebody, I don't know who I was listening to, it's basically that when you think about it, I think it was Colin Cowherd actually, now I'm thinking about it. College football has a big game problem. There's all these good teams. There's all these games being played every weekend, but it's like when you really boil it down, if you're not watching into the Michigan game, you're not tuned into that. What game do you care about on the national level? Like
Right.
one game a week,
Right.
with these
Because Alabama beats everyone by 100 points.
You watch
Right.
what two of their games of the year really matter.
Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just
No one really cares about the Pac-12 because it all comes out at 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So us over here, we're in bed.
It's another big move by USC and UCLA to get in that earlier market too,
which
right?
is a whole other thing. Like you think about, they're gonna have to fly in on like Thursday if they're playing in Ann Arbor to get used to the time change.
Right.
That's a whole other
Football's
thing.
not as bad as think about the baseball teams. Think about
Right.
the volleyball.
Yeah.
It's like, man, they're really shafted.
Right.
Well, they're going to have to get very creative
don't
on their
care.
scheduling. That's for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I think overall, like I said, if it gets rid of the NCAA, which has been a joke for how long now, I mean, it could be good. It could be really good. I mean, and it's all about the matchups. I mean, college football Saturdays are still going to be awesome.
I've seen some people throw out like kind of jokes like that UCLA Illinois noon kickoff is going to be fire. Like just saying, like that's just so weird.
Yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State even.
Yeah.
Right.
Iowa, Wisconsin. Those teams will always be fine. But you think about Rutgers,
Right.
Maryland. Stuff like that. It's kind of like
Michigan State. Quick little segue to them. Mel Tucker has been ever present on social media. He's kind of making me
pictures.
The hair on the back of my neck stand up a little bit. He's taking pictures in a white Lambo on center field.
He's
or
loving
center,
NIL
at midfield. He's something about him scares me. I can't quite put my finger on it.
It's the
He
potential
seems
of
to
what
have-
he could be.
He seems to be one hell of a recruiter.
Yeah.
He does. Now, you said NIL, Matt. Now, I'm still a little bit behind on that. I mean, I keep reading about Michigan. They aren't with it like other schools. What's the deal? They're not shelling out the money. They're not letting them do
I
what?
would also like some clarification on that.
I mean, I think the big thing, at least what I've read anyway, is like Michigan right now. I mean, it's Michigan. We know that they think that they're in the Ivy League. They're a little snobby about certain things.
Oh, they've always been arrogant. There's
Right.
no
They're
question.
not wanting to just like shell out money. Like
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh is even throwing off the line of like, coming to Michigan is transformational, not transactional. You like that's
He's
what he
always
said.
got funny little things
Right.
like that.
You come to Michigan and like he's basically said like if you put in the work and put in the time, you will make money. Whereas Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M is basically like,
Y'all come
Here's a-
on in.
right, here's $1 million, come to my school.
Well, that's another
Two
question.
completely different approaches. I think Mel Tucker is kind of with that approach.
Yeah.
Come here, and you're going to drive this white Ferrari in East Lansing.
But does the
Good
school
luck with that in December?
does the school control that, or does the player control that?
I don't think.
I think it's entire. Like I think they have to hire a NIL person. I believe,
Okay.
or
for
the
their
schools
program.
have like
Yeah,
an
yeah.
NIL
Liaison.
team, I guess.
Yeah.
That finds these.
What I've
deals
heard is
and
that it's
stuff.
almost like it's kind of almost like the NBA, NFL, where it's like these these deals. 10 million. It's kind of more like shock factor. It's really not.
Right.
They're not getting paid that.
Right.
Maybe if they're promised 10 million or whatever, they're probably making 3 million.
And that's the thing I think will be interesting in like 2 or 3 years to see like what the return on investment is. Because some of these freshmen coming in, they're a 5-star quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And you got some card companies saying like, we're going to pay you $10 million. But what if this kid like flames out?
Yeah.
So like, are some of these companies now going to lose money on this? Or like, is that going to change?
Well, it's a whole
I
different
don't know.
world. That's a whole different world to
Right.
me.
The transfer portal has changed things too with all that stuff.
I got to bring it back full circle. You really are not upset about this USC thing.
No, because you could see it all coming. What's their options? What options
Okay,
do they have?
so it's
Nothing.
just you're at this point you're worn down. But it's like you're gonna be sitting on September 14th and you're watching Michigan versus USC and on like game number
4
3.
o'clock.
I mean, it
in
sounds
the
awesome.
afternoon.
It
No,
sounds
I
awesome.
have no problem
like
with that.
it, but I'm just surprised you're.
Now, if you tell me Michigan and Ohio State will not play in the regular season, I might have a little bit of a problem.
Right. They need to keep some of those rivalries. Obviously, Michigan State. They need to keep that. Michigan, Ohio
Right.
State.
And I think if they don't expand, Matt, if they don't expand, we're at what 16 teams now. I think scrap the divisions. Period.
Right.
Just scrap it.
The Big Ten division. That's the biggest problem in the Big Ten. Hopefully, the USC coming over
Yeah.
switches it up. It doesn't make sense how it's laid out.
Right.
That's the biggest problem. in the
Now
Big
you
Ten.
could, since we probably see in the crystal ball that the NCAA will be gone. What do you think? Do the Big Ten, do they look to add 4 more schools and have maybe 4 or 5 team divisions, have a playoff instead of just the championship game? What do you
So they've
think?
thrown out having
It's not a
basically-
bad idea.
Right, basically 2 or 3 super conferences. And
Right.
the NCAA kind of goes away type of thing. I mean,
It's inevitable.
it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. The TV deals, I've seen some people floating around like because Fox is the main sponsor or TV deal for the Big Ten. They said the next TV deal might be like, I'm good, like over $1 billion. They said Fox might have to pay to have all the rights to the Big Ten over $1 billion, which is like,
Oh my
what does
God.
that even mean? Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, the NCAA really did screw the pooch just by letting these conferences basically go wild. I mean, COVID is what basically probably sparked it with these conferences. When the hard decision had to be made, the NCAA said, "You guys are on your own. You make your own decision." If I was these conferences, I'd be like, "Dude, okay, we're on our own. We're gonna basically overthrow you."
Yep,
like,
right.
I don't blame them. It just that was the first fall of the stone. I feel like was that COVID decision. It made no sense by the NCAA.
Stupid.
A lot of people
Stupid.
did that. You know, a lot of different corporations or governments or whatever did that kind of decision where it's like, "Oh, it's not, you're on your own. Make your own decisions." And
It's pure laziness.
Yeah.
And I see that in business. I see that in politics. I mean, it's just ridiculous, you know. But again, just to, like you said, bring it full circle. What the hell? I love the fact that we're going to be playing USC and UCLA. Nothing wrong with
It'd be
that.
cool to see Michigan at the Rose Bowl playing
We've
USC.
heard-
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
why not?
Why
that
not?
is the nice. At least they have that like kind of traditional tie,
Right.
The Rose Bowl tie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool.
kinda
Or if the Big
stretching
Ten,
it a little bit, but
right, the Big Ten championship was at the Rose Bowl, that'd be kind of cool. Doesn't always have to be in Indy.
Right. Was it you that tweeted something about SoFi Stadium for the Big Ten
yeah, they've
championship?
thrown that out. I think it'd be awesome.
That would be
Big Ten
cool.
championship location.
It's
Why
fun.
not?
It's funny, we were out on our LA trip and SoFi Stadium.
Right?
We checked it out. It's in like a god awful neighborhood right
Right.
now. I mean, it's terrible.
Well, hopefully
Right.
it gets built. It gets built up.
Oh, it
around
will. It
but-
will. Yeah.
But a sweet stadium, though, right?
Awesome stadium. Yeah. Really incredible.
It did look sweet in the Super Bowl. It looked like something I'd never seen before.
State of the art, man. State
Yeah.
of
I
the
got
art.
to mention, by the way.
Yeah.
This No Yeah by Bells.
Let me see that.
It's good
Easy
stuff.
drinking golden ale.
It
You
says
ever
it's,
had it?
it's just a really
No.
nice beer.
It's only sold in Michigan. So,
Of
like, when we
course.
come back here, I have to have it Bells. Oberon, obviously, is their, like, staple beer. So,
You went high tech. I went Bud Light.
Funny,
Can't go wrong
funny
with
story about
classic.
Bell's Brewery. So big, you actually wrote me a letter of recommendation, Matt, for this job. So
must not have done good
I didn't
enough.
know
no,
that.
Must not
what
have
happened
done
was,
good
what
enough.
happened was basically, so it like this was in college. I think it was like end of my sophomore year. Some great summer internship, put you in a place in Kalamazoo, working with 10 other summer interns. It sounded like an awesome gig. Free beer, get to bring it home. Basically, I had everything set, letter of recommendation set, resume set, everything set, but the due date wasn't until like this Monday. This was like whatever, the 21st. I went to submit it Sunday morning, before the due date was due the next day. The thing had closed, and I was like, I still remember like how distraught I was. Oh my god! I so like that was like the first time really like kind of bringing together a resume, all putting everything together. You're making a specific pitch to Bell's Brewery.
Oh yeah.
Closed.
Sent the guy who was doing the hiring a LinkedIn message and never responded.
Right.
Gone forever.
Well,
Yeah.
Bell's Brewery could be a sponsor someday. And speaking of sponsors, okay, let's get this in here again. Success Group Mortgage and Servicing.
Someone still got some fireworks over there, by the way.
Oh yeah, we might see more because it's starting to get to be dusk right now. But Jim Woodworth and his crew over there at Success Group Mortgage, I mean, you got to see them if you're looking to buy any property. And the cool thing about Jim and his team, they are licensed in Hawaii.
That is crazy.
In Florida, right?
And I think in Florida, yeah, for sure. Hawaii. Can you imagine if you're looking for like a little retirement place in Hawaii? Just check Jim Woodworth out.
I mean, yeah, you're from Corona. looking to move to Hawaii.
Great little tie-in.
The guy is
Hey, I know someone.
the guy's a hell of an entrepreneur.
he is,
You know,
man.
he really, and he's big supporter of our area. You know,
Him and his brother. Yeah.
absolutely. So
They recently, I believe he's in charge of J.C. Penney that recently closed, and I think Ashley's like dance shack just moved in there today. I think I just saw. So
yeah.
like that's like it's
And
cool.
he's like JV basketball coach at Corona.
I
right?
think he's done now.
Okay.
I think he hung him up. I think.
And that's what I feel like we see a lot of people that are people like Jim or whatever that leave Corona or whatever. I mean, Matt, we don't live here anymore, but it's cool to see him stay here and really make a huge impact on the community.
Invest in the community and stuff like that.
100%. And he used to live right over there, exactly with that red house
this
over
is
there.
where it all comes.
You know, he just moves around. He's all over the place.
Silicon Valley of
Remember we watched Conor McGregor,
Conor
right?
McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, maybe the worst fight I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was a spectacle.
Also,
Did you ride the pontoon over there though?
no, I think it was it?
Oh,
Did we
yeah,
ride the
that might have
pontoon?
been-
No.
It was winter, I think.
No, it wasn't. It was summer.
It was summer?
fight. We just drove over
Oh,
there.
it was in
Yeah.
May. That
No,
might have
could
been-
have pontoon.
Yeah, we could have.
Maybe it wasn't running at the time.
Probably
Then.
not. That's a sour topic, By the way, we didn't really do an official catch up, but we did have our annual fireworks cookout and everything. We missed Jared, but I don't think he missed my cooking. Not at all.
What? it
No,
didn't
you
turn out
probably
good?
forgot to put the
No,
ketchup
it turned
on
out
it.
great, but I
Did
just
you
saw a
put the
little
ketchup?
snarky comment between him and one of my other nephews on Twitter
About your eat? Well,
about Manitou cookouts or something.
You're confusing with somebody else. I think.
Really?
I think you really are.
Okay, well I'll look into it. No big deal. Maybe I am
No, I
on
mean,
that.
well,
I
here's
think
like
the ketchup comment is still holding it. Like,
think
when
about
he threw out
ludicrous
that he
that
forgot
is,
to
though.
put out the ketchup.
Well, I forgot. Sorry,
There's
because I think
it
anybody
was
eats
like
ketchup on a
It
hot
was
dog.
a 4-item menu: chips, hot dogs, burgers.
Oh, see, here it comes
And-
out.
And like,
But he'll
one-
come
and,
eat
like,
it. He'll come eat it.
and veggie sticks or something. And there's no ketchup.
Veggie
It's like, what are you? I mean, really? It's
What
like one of
is
the
he
10 things
talking
you have to
about?
remember.
All right, let's get off that topic and talk about something more important, like the wash of Owasso. Now, if you lived in Owasso, Jared, would you take your stuff over there in Westtown and have them just do it up for you? Wash it, fold it, iron it, whatever they do there. It's just a great
I
sponsor.
actually just did this with my bedding. Couldn't fit in my washer at my apartment. My washer at my apartment is disgusting. So I had to bring it back into town. Took it there. It smelled awesome. I had a bunch of cat hair on it. Nothing could get this cat hair off it except theirs. I don't know what it is about their washers and dryers, but it did the trick.
Did you use code 3PP?
Oh yeah,
to get 10%?
3PP, man.
All right, code 3PP.
And part of it too, this is a thing at other laundromats, but they will come pick up your
That
laundry
is awesome.
Exactly.
and take it, wash it, fold it, like you said. That's a thing.
There's
That's crazy.
Something about crisp laundry that is incredible.
Sheets, especially.
Yeah.
You crawl into a nice fresh.
Oh man, nothing like it. Well, let's get back to sports. All right. Just today, I mean, what's going on with Baker Mayfield? I mean, he's traded to the Panthers. I know there was some money exchange. They had to work out the deal, but for a possible 5th-round draft choice, and he was the number 1 player selected. 4 years ago?
I know, it is funny how that happens.
What's going on with Baker Mayfield? I mean, still, to me, a decent player.
I mean, 2 years ago, he led the Browns to the playoffs
and won a game. Yeah. So what's going on with him?
I wonder if with the whole Deshaun Watson thing, the Browns signing him, if Mayfield basically told the Browns, like, I'm not playing.
Well,
get rid of me.
They had to at that
point.
They had to. I mean, you can't have him and Watson.
Right.
I like Mayfield. I don't know. He's a character, that's for sure. I loved him coming out of college. And he came out and he had a great first few years. I mean, he's hurt all of last year. I feel like a lot of people kind of
forget about
the
that
injury stuff under the rug with a lot of players. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great year in Carolina. The funny thing about the Mayfield is Robbie Anderson, wide receiver, basically when there was rumors of him coming to Carolina months ago, he famously said basically
count me out
a million O's after it. No, like I don't want to come. So I'd be curious to see what that relationship will be like.
Yeah, the first time they see each other.
Well, that's the question I have. Is he such an asshole that nobody wants to play with him, or what?
I've heard people say they don't like his off the field stuff. Like he does all the commercials.
Oh, that's just jealousy.
You don't think he's as focused as maybe a Tom Brady or something like that.
Well,
but
not everybody
to me,
is.
It's like if he's winning games, who cares?
Exactly.
Which 2 years ago
he turned around the
Browns.
Browns.
Think about the Browns.
The Browns to the playoffs. And now they're paying a quarterback who might be in jail.
That is
$250 million
we don't need
guaranteed.
to get into that, but what
Right.
a weird situation that
So
really
crazy.
is. When you really look at that, it's like, what is going on there?
Yeah.
I mean, we're
NFL
Lions fans, but how would you like to be a Browns fan?
Right.
What the hell's happening?
root for
Yeah,
that. You don't want to. No,
You just
it-
lost your quarterback who did win a playoff game for you,
Right.
and you're paying a quarterback who might not even be on the field,
Yeah.
might be in jail.
Well, it's like even if he
Yeah.
is on the field, it's like, do you want to be, rooting for this guy?
Right.
I mean, who knows if it's all true? I hate
Right,
throwing that out, but I mean, it seems like there's a lot of
smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
that's
smoke.
that's what has me concerned too.
Yeah. But
And speaking of the NFL, I mean, the top topic that we want to talk about is Hard Knocks coming up a month away.
I know I need
A
to
month
start
away.
my HBO account, get that going.
So it's been awesome. Like I have a lot of coworkers that are basically, it's like the NFL. When you think of like high paying, TV jobs, it's the NFL's one
Yeah.
usually. And a lot of my coworkers have basically been hired on by NFL Films or whatever to come shoot Hard Knocks. I mean, it seems like one hell of an operation. It's awesome. Like I said, when I was at OTAs or I don't know if that was what it's mini camp.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, there's gonna be 30 cameras on every single practice. I mean, it's awesome production. I loved that show when it wasn't the Lions, so imagine what it's gonna be like when it is the Lions. It's gonna be
Well,
great.
like you always say, HBO is not going to skimp on anything.
No.
So
It hasn't quite clicked that it's actually in Detroit. I don't think
Right.
it will until that first episode hits the air.
you
It's
see
just-
Allen Park.
Yeah,
Allen
like it's
Park,
just
right?
Yeah, Allen
Yeah.
Park. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
See
It's-
Dan Campbell, the Honolulu Blue. It's
Oh,
gonna
it's gonna be it's
Yeah,
gonna fire us up so
yeah.
much more for the season as
Yeah.
we always are anyway before that first game.
I think we almost got to schedule our Monday recordings every
Right
every
after.
Sunday night. Maybe
Let's
not
do
we're not
it.
recording on Sunday night, but every Monday.
or
to
do
have a little
live reaction
recap
videos
portion.
after
Yeah,
it airs
exactly.
or something. Yeah.
I'm all for it. That sounds really good.
So remind me again. It airs Sunday night. That's
Sunday
when it
night, I
always
want to
airs.
say Sunday 9
Nine.
o'clock, 9 to 10. I think.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
could do a video after that.
Oh, I think if you're not watching that live, I mean, you're not an NFL Lions fan, man. I mean, this is our
Are
Super
you
Bowl.
looking at me?
This is our Super Bowl. Why are you?
No, he's gonna be
But no, I've
He
been
already
known to
has the
record
DVR
it.
set up. He's already.
I don't, but I will watch it live if we're going to do instant reactions. So
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
It's gonna be
Oh,
an
it's
awesome
gonna be
show.
good.
By the way, before we wrap up, is there any other sports things we want to get into? I know
Well, the Tigers.
Tigers have won another one. They swept the Guardians.
Yep, Guardians.
Hard to say that, isn't it?
It
I
is
knew,
kinda
I
weird.
knew you were not going to say that, but just let it pass.
It's
You were
still
going to
strange.
say something about
What
it.
is
kinda-
weird?
It's kind of like what the Washington Commanders,
Yeah.
instead of the Washington
I hate
football team. Instead
Yeah.
of the Washington
I loved the football team name, to be honest.
They should have just left it as
It was
football
a great name.
It was cool.
Yeah, and to be honest, I thought, and a lot of people hate the Guardians. I thought it was pretty good marketing. I mean, it still got kind of the name in there, and there was some reason why they call it the
Exactly.
Guardians.
There was a tie to the city and
Statues
stuff.
everywhere.
Yeah.
When we were, we could get these little scenic rips or whatever for our broadcast, and that's
Right.
a lot of them is all these freaking statues. They are very prominent.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that was a kind of a no-brainer. But how rare is it for the
Commanders
Tigers
are
to even beat that team? And they swept them.
Swept them. And, the Tigers, we've talked a little bit. There's potential. Riley Green, I think we all agree.
The big
As long as
difference
everything
maker.
goes right,
Big difference maker right
He's
there.
going to be a stud. There's some other young players. Torkelson, obviously, we're hoping he is going to be who we thought he was. Who's going to be the all-star, though? We were talking about it. There's got to be at least one Tigers all-star.
I think we
I think
all
we're all
agreed on
leaning
it on our off-air.
It's got to be Miggy.
Miggy.
I mean,
It's got to be.
there's no one else who's really blown anyone.
It'd be foolish to go
Lane,
anybody
maybe,
else.
but-
Yeah, those are the only two. I mean, one thing I wonder is what would this team look like if Green was up all year?
Right.
Maybe it's not a huge difference, but just there seems to be some
Well, he was
electricity
hurt.
to him.
I
So,
think
right, if he was healthy,
I
you
think
mean?
they'd be pushing 500 for sure.
Yeah, it just there seems to be like I think Torkelson maybe has a little bit less pressure on him
Right.
this whole year. I mean, he's basically had to clean up some of these games.
Yep.
So I just think he would maybe have made a bigger difference and kind of just a mojo with this team.
For sure.
Yeah, so Tigers are looking good. Better anyway with Green
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
lineup. Let's go there. Let's wrap up the podcast, guys, with a little entertainment. It doesn't have to be an official one, but I did see the movie Elvis. I went July 4th.
Oh,
It was-
on July 4th.
It was hot as hell, and we said let's go mid-afternoon, and my sister happened to be taking my dad, so we took my dad, and it was a very good movie. The guy that played Elvis, his name is Austin Butler. Kind of not a lot of notoriety out there. He was in Once Upon a Time in America, the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Hollywood.
Yeah, or Hollywood, I mean, and played Tex Watson, one of Charles Manson's guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was one of his big parts, but he was a total star in Elvis, and from 5 minutes in, you thought you were watching Elvis.
I heard he played Elvis very well.
He hammered it.
Yeah.
Now, Tom Hanks, he played Colonel Tom Parker, right? And
Who
I
is Elvis's
Colonel.
like agent, basically.
his
right?
agent, yeah,
Right.
he
Colonel.
basically stole half of Elvis's money. I
Right.
mean, but he did help his career along the way. But it was very, very disconcerting watching Tom Hanks with all this fat makeup on his face, and this dialect that he had. I don't know if Tom Parker talked like this,
Must have,
but
I'm guessing. But
I'm guessing he did too. But it was very, very off-putting. And I don't know if you've ever watched. I asked Jared this earlier. You know who Martin Short, when he plays a guy named Jiminy Glick? Do you know who that is? He plays this guy in a fat suit. That's a talk show host.
Master in Disguise, basically.
Kind of, yeah. Well, basically, I couldn't. Every time Tom Hanks was on the screen, I just couldn't. I couldn't get that out of my head. It was just. It was off-putting. So,
in the way that like Forrest Gump. Is it similar? Seeing Tom Hanks act like Forrest Gump like that way?
No.
I saw a picture of him. It looks weird. There's
Yeah.
really no other way to put it.
They should have never had a close-up of him. Number one. I mean, it just was very off-putting. That knocked the movie down a whole half a point. So I give it
usually anything Tom Hanks is, it's going to be fantastic.
I'm wondering if he jumped the shark. I don't know, because he's one of those guys that's a true movie star. If you went to one of his movies, you knew you were going to see something good, but he wasn't that good to me in this.
Really? Okay.
So I'd give it a 2.5 just because of the Tom Hanks.
Was his
sucking
performance
factor.
good or just the fat makeup?
Both.
Like,
I just
really?
didn't think the performance
It's kind of
was
hard
that
to look
good.
past a fit guy that looks so absurdly
Yes.
dumb in a fat suit. It's
Right.
kind of like what you could be freaking DiCaprio behind
Right.
that. It's just still like.
But this will set the stage for you that after the movie was over, we get up and say to my dad again. We took my dad 90. He's going to be 92 in August. And Dad, what'd you think of the movie? He said, "Well, that was pretty good." He said, "That one guy looked like an old Tom Hanks."
Never quite clicked it.
Never clicked.
Never clicked that it was him.
Yeah, you're right, Dad.
Did you guys
He did.
break it to him? Or?
Well, yeah, we started
Okay.
just laughing our butts off. He takes it good
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
He's got a good sense of humor. And then I think I brought it up one other time. The Old Man with Jeff Bridges.
Oh.
If you get a chance to watch that, it's badass, man. He plays an
I've heard this
ex-CIA agent, and the very first scene shows him kind of getting out of bed with arthritis, and he's moving really slow. But then when they get to some of the action scenes, he's the real deal.
Jeff Bridges is good.
Jeff Bridges
he's
is
kind of
good.
one that you forget about
He
sometimes. But then
is.
when you watch something with him, it's like, damn, he's
He
a
is
really good
badass.
actor.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
I
Top
teased it.
Gun, you got it.
Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
Perfect movie, in my opinion. Absolute
But wait.
perfect movie.
You did watch the original.
Yes.
You finally did. Okay, yeah.
Okay. It's better
This
than the
movie was
original.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
Better
said.
than the
I said it to my
original?
dad. Better than
I
the
think
original.
so.
Is this
Great
like
flick.
Prisoner of the Moment or really?
No.
I don't know,
man,
man.
the
You gotta see
original
it in
is like
theater.
It's really good.
wow.
Sound,
Okay.
I mean, it makes you want
Action
to sign up for
scenes.
the military. It's really what it does. It makes
Okay.
you want to quit what I'm doing and go sign up tomorrow for the Top Gun
fly
school.
some
Fly
fighter-
school. It's freaking awesome. And Tom Cruise, he's another
Hard
guy.
to believe,
he gets a lot
isn't
of shit, for whatever Scientology this that.
Right.
Guy's a movie star.
Mhm.
If you think a movie star, he's the first. I think of people that I'd be starstruck if I happened to walk by him on the sidewalk. He's top 5 probably.
He is.
mean,
He's
he
good in everything
nailed it.
too.
You remember when he was dogging me when I did my review of it? Oh, I knew you were going to say it was great. I knew you were going to do that.
Well, that was a fact, no matter what the movie was like. But
But you just said better than the original. But
It
you
is.
just saw it. Man, Top Gun the original is almost like a flawless movie to me, like for what it is.
So you haven't
action.
seen this, obviously.
I have not seen it.
it,
And I've heard this. I feel like everyone has said it.
And it ties it all
yeah,
together.
they do. It's heavy on the original. I mean,
Yeah.
literally.
They bring in
Rooster.
Goose.
Yeah,
I've heard about
Rooster
the
is his
Iceman
name.
thing, Val
Yeah,
Kilmer.
he's
like,
in it.
Yeah,
he
he's in it.
obviously has his health
And they basically
issues
have
and-
Iceman 2.0. Like it's a very similar to the original, kind of just like a new era.
Yeah,
But
very
different enough.
similar.
And it's just cool. I love it. They're
they
flying
have a
throughout
volleyball
mountains
scene?
and stuff.
Football. They play
Oh,
touch
they play
football.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of confusing. They're playing dogfight football. You watch that scene, you don't know what you're watching. It's hard to
But the
explain,
shirts are off.
The shirts are off and
Girls are
jeans
loving
and
it. My girlfriend loved it.
Very-
So.
homoerotic. a
And I
little
will
bit.
say this: Tom Cruise still in good shape for 60. I mean,
Six-
I mean,
years old.
impeccable shape.
I
yeah,
think you mentioned it, or one of the cool things too is the fighter jet scenes are real.
yeah.
100%
It's
real.
not CGI or
Awesome.
all
That's
that sort of stuff.
amazing.
That's pretty cool.
It is freaking awesome.
No,
It was a great
I'll
flick.
have to see it. And like you said, that's one of those you want to see in the
Oh
theater.
yeah,
You
no,
wanna
no,
see
no.
it.
Whoa,
100%.
no doubt, no doubt. Yeah.
I need to do that.
That probably is what made it so awesome. Is the sound system, the HD. Like I said, it's legit real life flying. It's awesome.
That's
cool.
that's a blockbuster movie
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
That's what
Summer
it is.
blockbuster right there.
Absolutely.
I was going to throw in Entertainment
Yes.
Unrivaled, the Red Wings
I
and
haven't watched
Avalanche.
that yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Neither of you have seen
No.
it.
I got it on my DVR.
I mean,
You
you're not
gotta
gonna.
watch it.
I don't think you're really gonna spoil.
No,
But you
there's
know what
nothing to
happens,
spoil.
Yeah.
Right. You weren't living during that time, but you
No.
know about that rivalry and all the other
Oh,
stuff.
remember it well.
It made me like want to get back into hockey type of thing because I wasn't like a diehard fan, but like if you were, especially a Red Wings or Avalanche fan during that era,
Right.
you watched that stuff. It was just something about the hatred, all the back and forth rivalry. Obviously, there's the Konstantinov stuff, like the accident that
terrible.
happened to him. Both teams were really good. I don't. It's just it's a fantastic hour and a half. It's actually like almost 2 hours, but
That was
it gets you
E60,
back in.
right?
It was an E60, yeah. So it gets you right back into that.
Yeah.
It's worth the watch.
It does look hot, and I need to be brushed up more on that rivalry. It's
Yeah.
like I knew it was a thing, but it seems like it's a lot bigger of a thing than what I really knew.
Hell,
Yeah,
if you watch the show, you're going to get brought up to speed on it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
no, yeah. You'll be right back into wanting Darren McCarty to beat the hell out of Claude Lemieux, but it's good
funny.
stuff.
Yeah, what a magical time that must have been in Detroit.
Well,
Red
it was the
Wings.
best because
Yeah, it was.
they won 3 cups in the 90s and then 2 in the 2000s. So
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
And Iserman was part of all of them.
Iserman was a part of it. I mean, they were stacked with Lindstrom and Fedorov and
It
all
was
these other guys. I mean,
Scotty Bowman.
Bowman was the coach.
Yep.
And, I mean, it was great.
I still got posters somewhere stored at my house somewhere from that era.
The
you know.
octopus they would throw
Yeah,
on the
It was,
ice.
it was a
and
great
stuff, so.
time. Well, fellas, I mean, I don't
I was
know.
gonna
The
say,
sun's
do
the
we
sun's going down. What do you
need to
think?
get off the lake?
We don't have to. We don't have to, but I'll tell you what, this has been a lot of fun.
I will say, so we've been out here for
Man,
pushing
wow.
hour and a half. I haven't seen one other boat.
No,
There was
I mean,
one
it's- I
pontoon
know
went
it's
by. One
So
pontoon
what
went
day
by.
is it? A Wednesday? When you're on vacation, you forget what day it is.
It's Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Partied
So
a, this is a
maybe
little slower
Yeah.
community. They partied a little too hard on the forest.
that's
No.
true. A couple days after.
No, the
Buffalo.
big secret, boys, is that this lake doesn't have that much traffic on it.
Oh, really?
4th of July is about it, and maybe Memorial Weekend too. But it's a hidden gem.
There's some more fireworks.
It's
But what's
awesome.
crazy?
Man, we threw you a couple bones at the start about this
Oh,
lake,
it's
and
all
now
on
you're
and
really taking some liberties with it, man. I mean,
You need to become a real estate agent.
Yeah, I'm
Go
telling
work
ya.
for Success Group Mortgages.
Well,
or
I won't
some
live anywhere
corporate
else
thing.
till I go to the old folks' home, boys. I can tell you that right now.
But when you look around, almost every house has a boat.
Yeah.
What they just, they don't
Fri-
take them out.
Friday,
as much?
not Friday night's the big night. The
Friday,
Friday night's the
Saturday night.
pontoon parade around.
Yeah.
You know, that's about it.
Do
But
people? So we're posted up on this island right here. Do people come and like?
it is a
Grill
cool
out.
spot.
they
yeah,
should.
hang
No,
out,
they
should,
don't.
really.
No, they don't. We come here and we set the anchor there just like that, and we'll sit here and we'll eat our dinner out here.
Yeah, this is
I was
awesome
gonna say
spot.
I would come. You got a couple kids.
Yeah.
Let them run around a little bit. Hopefully, don't fall off into the water.
I mean, if I was the commissioner here on this lake, I'd throw a fire pit out here.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
would be
bring your own
perfect,
wood.
yeah.
bring your
Or
own
a
wood.
grill. A grill
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah,
out
why
here.
why don't they? That's what you should be.
It's all
instead of
volunteer
putting all
stuff,
this
you
money
know.
into the
Yeah.
fireworks, man. Maybe just get a little grill out here and a
No, we'll
circle
keep the
ring.
fireworks.
Well, I mean,
We
maybe
love
one or
those.
two
Yeah.
less next year and get a grill and a fire pit out here.
So
Yeah,
right over here,
Yeah.
people listening can't see it. Is that a marina?
No.
There's that little section right there with 1,
That's
2,
where
3,
his
4,
boat
5,
like was
6.
used to be.
It's
Those are
like-
the people
it's
that
like
live off
People
land.
live off the water.
Oh, okay. They can
That's
park
where-
their boat there.
Yeah,
Okay.
they can
Yeah.
park
They
their
gotta
boat
pay for
there.
a
Marina.
slip and.
No, they don't have to
I mean,
pay for it.
a
It all
mini-
comes with the
mini house. Oh,
association.
okay.
Closest
Okay.
this place comes.
They build their
Yeah.
own docks and they're all good to go.
That's kind of cool. So if you live off water a little bit, you still have a spot to
Yeah.
have your boat.
Jared remembers walking about a block to
Yep,
get to our
yep.
dock. Yeah.
Oh, you used to park.
Yeah,
your
that's
boat
what he
there?
used
Okay.
to
I used to
Yeah,
park in
speedboat-
that channel
speedboat.
over there.
Okay.
We'll give you the cruise around before we send you home.
Yeah.
I think.
I love this. This is fun. You guys are convincing me to move back to.
Oh, we love it. Come to Michigan, Matt.
This will just change to 3-point Tooncast.
Yeah.
You just got to keep this pontoon.
I
running.
I will. I'll keep it. I'm going to keep it running. Well, by the way, we should remind everybody this has been 3-Point Tooncast, presented by Memorial Healthcare, home of the Now Wellness Community Center. And follow us at 3-Point Pot. Spread the word. Make sure you let all our great partners know you listen in and enjoy the program. They include Crow Real Estate and Auction, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Rivals Tap House and Grill, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, The Wash of Owasso, and the ALS Association of Michigan. Until next week, so long, everybody. Thanks for listening. As Ringo would say, peace and love, and we need that nowadays, man.